Good morning to one and all. In today's class, we will discuss frequency shift keying techniques using coherent detection. In the last class, we have studied phase shift keying, different techniques using coherent detections, and how the detection can be done, and what is the probability of that error signal we have studied. In case of M-array PSK and M-array QAM, both of them are example of linear modulation techniques. In this section, we will study a nonlinear method of modulation known as frequency shift keying using a coherent detection. So first we begin with the binary FSK. So already we have studied about the frequency modulation or frequency shift keying. In case of frequency shift keying, suppose if you consider a 2 bit of data, ones and zeros, binary symbols, if you consider, in that one frequency represents one values, and another frequency represents the zero. That is what frequency modulation in digital communication. So in binary FSK, symbols 1 and zeros are distinguished from each other by transmitting one of two sinusoidal waves, that is two different frequencies that differ in frequency by a fixed amount. A typical pair of sinusoidal waves is described by S of t is equal to square root of 2 EB by TB cos of 2 pi Fi of t, where t is greater than equal to 0, less than equal to TB, otherwise it is 0. Where I is equal to 1 and 2, because here we are considering 2 bits of data, that is 1 and 0. And EB is the transmitted signal energy per bit. The transmitted frequency of this can be calculated or can be assumed, that is Fi is equal to Nc plus 1 divided by Tb for a fixed integer of Nc, where I is equal to 1 and 2. The symbol 1 is represented by S1 of t, and symbol 0 is represented by S2 of t. That is, this can be assumed here. The FSK signal described here is known as Sundays FSK. It is a continuous phase signal in the sense that the phase continuity is always maintained, including the inter-bit switching time also. From the above observation, the signals S1 of t and S2 of t are orthogonal to each other, but not normalized to have the unity energy. The most useful form for this set of orthogonal basis function is given by phi 1, phi of phi I of t, that is equal to square root of 2 by tb into cos of 2 pi fi of t, where t is greater than 0, less than tb. So same thing what we have discussed for other modulation techniques in previous sections or previous methods, where I is equal to 1 and 2. Correspondingly, the coefficient of S of ij can be derived by considering the integration method, that is equal to S of ij for a particular message point, that is S of ij is equal to integration of 0 to tb into Si of t into pi j of t into dt. Substitute the value of phi of j for t is greater than equal to 0 or less than equal to tb, and we'll get this. Then Si of t and pi 1 of pi j of t is substituted here. Then carrying this integration method, applying the integration method, that will get S of ij is equal to square root of eb when I is equal to j. So these two signals what we'll get here, S1 of t and S2 are orthogonal to each other. So therefore I is equal to j, then we'll get Si of ij is equal to square root of eb will be considered. Thus, unlike the binary PSK and PSK and binary PSK, binary FSK is characterized by having the signal space diagram of a two-dimensional when considering the n is equal to 2 with the two message points, that is m is equal to 2, because the data or in binary information we are considering is here, one is representing 1 and another one is representing 0. So that is the two conditions we are considering here, that is s1 is equal to s1 and s2 are shown here. Signal space diagram for binary FSK is shown in this slide. The diagram also includes the example waveforms of the two modulated signals S1 of t and S2 of t, and two different signals are shown with the different frequencies. So we can observe the waveforms also which having the different frequencies, that is S1 of t and S2 of t both have been shown here, and the decision boundary is drawn across the 2 points, that is message point m1 and message point m2. That is the value of that particular point is equal to, according to s1 and s2, that is eb and eb values, and the distance between these two is applying the theorem or Pythagoras theorem. So we'll get square root of 2 into EB, that will be calculated here. The signal space diagram for binary FSK, the signal diagram also includes the example waveforms of the two modulated signal S1 of t and S2 of t. The Euclidean distance or Pythagoras theorem, the distance between the S1 and S2 is approximately equal to square root of 2 into EB can be calculated. The next section in this modulation techniques is very important, generation and coherent detection of binary FSK. In this diagram we are saying that binary FSK transmitter and coherent binary FSK receiver. The diagram 1 shows the transmitted transmitter and the diagram B represents the receiver end, and at the transmitter end we have the different blocks, that is binary data sequence is applied on off level encoder method is used, and m of t and phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t is considered, and the message inverter is used, and after that come adding both the signals with phi 1 and phi 2 with the m of t and m complement of t, that is inverter is applied. Then we'll combine these two signals, or we'll add that signals binary FSK signal s1 of s of t is generated. That s of t will become the receiver signal. Through the channel it is transmitted. At the receiver end it will consider x of t, again it is multiplied with base function phi 1 and phi 2, and the integration with respect to 0 to tb with dt into x of t into phi of t is calculated. We will extract the value of x1 and x2, then we will get the y, and then it will connect it to the decision device. Based on the threshold values we consider as 0, choose 1 if y is greater than 0, and choose 0 if y is less than 0. That is the decision taken by the device. So this block diagram is very important, and it includes on off level encoder at the transmitter end, the output of which is a constant amplitude of square root EB in response to the input symbol 1 and 0 is response to the input symbol 0. So in this case the output of which is a constant amplitude of square root of EB in response to input symbol 1 and 0 in response to the input symbol 0. So based on the binary information, on off level encoder will generates the bits 1 and 0s. The pair of oscillators whose frequencies f1 and f2 differ by an integer multiplied of the bit rate of 1 by tb is considered. In accordance with the previous sections what we have discussed. The lower oscillator with frequency of 2 is preceded by an inverter. When in a signaling interval the input symbol is 1, the upper oscillator when when in a signaling interval the input symbol is 1, the upper oscillator with frequency of 1 is and switched on and signal S1 of t is transmitted, while the lower oscillator is switched off on the other hand. So when the input symbol is 0, the upper oscillator is switched off while the lower oscillator is switched on. So these two symbols, that is m of t and m bar of t, switched on alternatively, that is connected to the adder side. So when the input symbol is 0, the upper oscillator is switched off while the lower oscillator is switched on, and the signal S2 of t with frequency f2 is transmitted. With the phase continuity as a requirement, the two oscillators are synchronized with each other. Alternatively, we may use a voltage controlled oscillator also, in which case phase continuity is automatically satisfied. So here one thing we have to remember: the two oscillators are alternatively switched on based on the input values. So whenever symbol is 0 and symbol 0 is transmitted, symbol 0 is transmitted, the upper oscillator is on. Whenever 1 is transmitted, the lower oscillator will get on, and these two will get combined according to according to the input input binary values. Two alternate oscillators will start oscillating. So based on that, we can judge the two different values at the receiver based on the different frequencies. So if one is transmitted, let assume phi 1 is if binary 1 is transmitted, let assume pi 2 is transmitted, that is frequency 2 will be detected, and phi 1 is detected when 0 is transmitted, or vice versa we can consider here. So finally we'll get the binary frequency shift keying with the different frequencies to represent the different to represent the 1 and zeros. To coherently detect at the receiver end, to coherently detect the original binary sequence given the noisy received signal x of t, we may use the receiver as shown here. It consists of two correlators with a common input, which are supplied with the locally generated coherent frequency signals phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t. The correlator outputs are then subtracted uh, one from the other. The resulting difference y is then compared with the threshold of 0, that is threshold value we consider as 0. That is, if y is greater than 0, the receiver decides in favor of 1. On the other hand, if y is less than 0, it decides in favor of 0. If y is exactly 0, the receiver makes a random guess, that is flip of pair of coin, like that, in favor of 1 or 0. So next topic in this modulation technique is the error probability of a binary FSK. So here at the receiver end, the decision device may go wrong, or the transmitted and the receiver receive. If we are transmitting 1, the receiver may receive it as a 0. These are the errors probability what we are discussing. The observation vector x has two elements x1 and x2 that are defined by the respectively as x1 and x2. Integration of 0 to tb x of t pi 1 of t into dt and x of t into phi 2 of dt, where x of t is a received signal whose form depends on which the symbol was transmitted. Given that the symbol 1 was transmitted, x of t equals s1 of t plus w of t, where w of t is a sample function of a white Gaussian noise. process of 0, mean and power spectral density of n naught by 2. If on the other hand the symbol 0 was transmitted, x of t equals s2 of t plus wt. Now applying the decision rule, assuming that the use of coherent detection at the receiver, we find that the observation space is partitioned into two decision regions labeled as uh, Z1 and Z2. It is shown in this figure. The decision boundary separating region Z1 from region Z2 is perpendicular bisector of the line joining the two message points. The receiver decides in favor of symbol 1 if the received signal point represented by the observation vector x falls inside the region Z1. This occurs when x1 is greater than x2. If on the other hand we have x1 is less than x2, the receiver signal point falls inside the region Z2 and the receiver decides in favor of symbol 0. On the decision boundary we have x1 is equal to x2, in which case the receiver makes a random guess in favor of symbol of 1 or 0. So that is the problem here. The error may occur to proceed further. We define a new Gaussian random variable y, so whose sample value of y is equal to the difference between x1 and x2, that is y is equal to x1 minus x2. Then mean value of the random variable y depends on which the binary symbol was transmitted. Given that the symbol 1 was sent, the Gaussian random variable x1 and x2, whose sample values are denoted by x1 and x2, have mean values equal to square root of EB and 0 respectively. Correspondingly, the conditional mean of a random variable y, given that the symbol 1 was sent, is equal to, these are the probability E of y of 1 was transmitted is equal to E of x1 bar 1 minus E of x2 bar 1, that is plus square root of E. Similarly for 0 it is minus square root of EB according to these values. The variance of the random variable y is independent of which binary symbol was sent. Since the random variables x1 and x2 are statistically independent, each with a variance equal to the n naught by 2, it follows that is equal to n naught. Then suppose we know that the symbol 0 was sent, the conditional probability density function of the random variable y is then given by y of y is equal to 0 is equal to square root of 1 divided by square root of 2 pi n naught into exponential of y plus square root of e whole square divided by 2 n naught. And since the condition of x1 is greater than x2 or equivalently y is greater than 0, corresponding to the receiver making a decision in favor of symbol 1, we reduce the conditional probability of error given that the symbol 0 was sent, that is p of 1 0, that is probability of error 0 1 was transmitted, 0 was 1 is observed and 0 was sent, where p of y is greater than 0, symbol 0 was sent. So this is the probability of error integration. By integration of doing this function, that is y of y bar 0, we get that z value. To put the integral in the standard form involving the q function what we have sent, that is z, we can substitute here, that the finally the variable of integration from y to z, we may rewrite that is p of 1 0 is equal to q of square root of eb by n naught. Similarly, we may show that probability of transmitting 0 and observing the 1, that is probability of error given that symbol 1 was sent, has the same value in this equation. Accordingly, averaging this p of 1 0 and p of 0 1 and assuming the equiprobable symbols, so we find that the average probability of bit error or equivalently the bit error of for binary FSK, that is P of E is equal to Q into square root of EB by N naught. So this is the probability of error. In this function, in this section, the detection of error generation and coherent detection of binary FSK is very important topic here. So we'll stop here. We'll go next section in next class. Thank you, one and all.